Welcome back to Beyond the Shahada. I'm your host, Bree Shaaban. Whether you're interested in Islam, new to the religion, or looking to strengthen your faith, this podcast is your village. Today I want to discuss the beginnings of being a Muslim, the highs and the lows, and how to navigate your way through them. Firstly, I'd like to briefly touch on a bit of a controversial topic, the terms revert and born Muslim. Sometimes born Muslims might label new Muslims as converts or reverts out of excitement and curiosity. While it can feel like you're being singled out, it usually comes from a place of admiration and good intentions. If you cringe every time someone calls you a revert, you probably have the feeling of being less righteous than someone who was a born Muslim. But whether you grew up Muslim or not does not give you a higher ranking in Islam. The only thing that can make anyone better than someone else is their mindfulness and obedience to Allah. And a side note, you don't have this revert or convert language in Arabic. You simply say they became a Muslim. I think it's only fitting that I add in a little disclaimer about something that happens to a lot of new Muslims. You've probably been asked this question. So how long have you been a Muslim for? Or what's your revert story? And look, for some people, this may be their favorite question. They're excited to share their journey, and that's amazing. But for others, it can feel like being put on the spot. Think about back in school when you had to give a presentation in front of the whole class. For some students, that was their moment to shine, their 15 minutes of fame. They genuinely loved standing up there, sharing their work, and putting on more of a show than an actual presentation. But for others, it's a total nightmare. The nerves and that deep feeling of dread, wishing they could magically disappear through the floor. If you're listening to this and are thinking, "Oh no, I ask new Muslims this all the time," maybe just take a moment to consider how you ask these questions. Remember that for some, it's an exciting opportunity to share, but for others, it can feel invasive or overwhelming. If you're a new Muslim feeling put on the spot, know that it's perfectly fine to say, "I'd rather not talk about it right now." Your story is yours, and you get to decide if, when, and how you want to share it. Now let's talk about what happens after you take your Shahada. Personally, I've seen there are mostly two different paths that new Muslims take. The first one feels like you've just unlocked a whole new level of life. You're riding this high, let's call it the honeymoon phase, where everything just feels amazing. If you've ever travelled before, you'll know the feeling of coming home and realising you've grown so much while your friends and family seem stuck in the exact same spot. You're so excited that maybe you're even dropping advice and Quran verses left and right. And your friends and family are looking at you like you've suddenly grown two heads. Maybe everything I'm saying sounds like an alternate reality. You may be feeling alienated and overwhelmed. Not everyone has the picture-perfect honeymoon phase after becoming Muslim. Maybe you're the only Muslim you know. Maybe you're struggling to explain your decision to people who just simply can't understand. Everyone is talking about how you're now part of the community, yet you're feeling lonelier than you've ever felt before. So whether you're in the honeymoon phase or feeling like an outsider, please remember that everyone will have a different story, with a whole range of emotions and experiences to match. Can I tell you a secret? Even though you're trying to learn everything all at once, no matter how bumpy or windy your path feels, it doesn't actually change where you're headed. The destination is still the same. It's definitely not about knowing everything right away, but rather all about growing, learning, and building your relationship with Allah. And here's the thing. Islam is huge. It's like an ocean. And when you take your Shahada, you've only just dipped your toes in the water. You think you've seen it all, but there's so much more beneath the surface. And that's the beauty of Islam. You never stop learning. Ever. In fact, the more you learn, the more you realize how much you actually don't know. Even if it feels like you're completely alone, guess what? You're not. Imagine you're in a dark room. You can't see a thing and feel like you're the only person in that room. Then the light turns on and you realize there is actually an entire room full of people who all believed they were alone. That's what the Muslim community is like. Whether it's through a local mosque, an online group, or even a friend you haven't met yet, there are people out there who just get it. So take a deep breath. You're much stronger than you think, and you're never truly alone. Every challenge you face is shaping you into the person that Allah wants you to be. So whether you're riding the high of the honeymoon phase, feeling the weight of isolation, or somewhere in between, the way forward remains the same. Get to know Allah. And how do we do that? Where do you even start? Everyone's journey is unique. But for me, it started with something simple. Just talking to Allah. Like really talking. Sharing my thoughts, feelings, my struggles, and even my questions. Almost like having a deep and meaningful with your best friend, except Allah never gets tired or bored of you. For others, it might look a bit different. Maybe it's through prayer or reading Quran. Or maybe it's being mindful of the little signs in your everyday life, like when you see a beautiful sunset. When I started opening up to Allah, it was like flipping on a light switch. I'd ask for help, for guidance, for clarity, and began building trust in the fact that He knows exactly what I need better than I do. This is just the starting point though. The more you get to know Allah through His names, His attributes, His wisdom, His mercy, the stronger that bond becomes. So start wherever you are and in whatever capacity you are capable of. Talk to Him. Learn about Him. Watch how your connection grows. Because when you get to know Allah, everything else in your life starts to make sense. And the absolute best part, you don't need to explain or justify your journey to anyone. Allah sees all of your efforts and struggles and your true intentions. I think that's where I'll wrap this up today. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to follow or subscribe. There are also captioned videos up on the YouTube channel. The handle for that is @Beyond the Shahada podcast. I'll also link it in the show notes. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next episode, God willing.